Welcome to the Honors in the Major Information video, brought to you by the Honors Program at Florida State University. My name is Dr. Michael David Franklin, and I'm Honors faculty here at FSU. In this video, we will review Honors in the Major requirements, as well as processes and policies, a recommended work timeline, best practices, and resources to help get you started. Honors in the Major is an opportunity available to everyone. You do not have to be a member of the Honors Program to apply to Honors in the Major. Instead, you must be able to meet certain minimum requirements when applying to the program. These include a current FSU student status who has been formally accepted into your major, a minimum 3.2 GPA, FSU and cumulative, at least 60 completed credits at the time of application, at least 12 of those credits completed at FSU, and at least 2 semesters remaining until graduation. Again, anyone can apply to the Honors in the Major program if they meet these requirements and if they are interested in completing an honors thesis. This presentation is a high-level overview of in-depth information that can be found in the Honors in the Major Handbook, available in the Honors in the Major section of the Honors Program webpage. You are strongly encouraged to download the handbook and read it if you do begin an Honors in the Major thesis project. Usually, questions students contact the Honors Program about are answered in this handbook. The handbook covers areas like responsibilities of the thesis director, the student, and the supervisory committee, information about the prospectus, the final written thesis, and the oral defense, paperwork, submission deadlines, and the structure of each semester of Honors in the Major, resources and best practices for making the most of your Honors in the Major experience, frequently asked questions about everything from whether a student can complete the Honors in the Major program in one semester to whether family and friends can attend the oral defense. You can download and read the Honors in the Major handbook by going to https://honors.fsu.edu/honors-major-handbook-and-forms. Completing an honors thesis can really set you apart in your pursuits after graduating from FSU, whether you are applying to medical school or law school, applying to a top-ranked PhD program, applying for a Fulbright or other competitive national fellowship, or applying for a job at a highly sought-after employer. Think about it. Many people also applying to those opportunities will have high GPAs, high test scores, lots of volunteer and professional experiences, lots of accolades, and so on. What they will not have is the specific honors thesis project that you will complete based on your own passions, decisions, insights, discoveries, and overall work ethic. Working on an honors thesis will promote personal growth through deep learning, challenging yourself to make connections and articulate them, overseeing a difficult long-term project, and cultivating expertise on your topic. It also will promote professional growth through your ongoing close collaboration with faculty members, through your project and time management skills, and through your public speaking and presentation skills in the oral defense. Overall, completing an honors in the major thesis will give you a competitive edge for postgraduate opportunities by creating strong faculty relationships that can result in strong letters of recommendation, and by giving you a distinguishing experience to talk about in interviews. So what exactly is the honors thesis? The honors thesis is an original, independent, scholarly, or creative project completed in one's major that aims to make a contribution to or intervention in the field. The thesis must be completed over 2 to 3 semesters, 2 being the most common, and a minimum of 6 honors thesis credits must be earned over the duration of these semesters. The honors thesis culminates in an oral defense before your faculty thesis director and supervisory committee, during which you will explain the relevance and importance of your completed project and respond to their questions. All honors theses should be able to demonstrate originality within a proper scope. In other words, honors theses are not simply repeating what is already known. Instead, your aim in working on an honors thesis is to participate in the larger conversation in the discipline or field, and to offer clarification or innovation on the topic you have chosen. Please note that original does not mean earth-shattering or paradigm-shifting. Most knowledge produced advances our understanding in small increments. Think of your thesis work as you would your participation in a group discussion at a dinner party. You aren't repeating verbatim what you hear others at the table say, but you also aren't trying to say everything there is to say about the topic at hand. Remember this as you consult with your thesis director about what kind of research design will permit you to complete a sufficiently original honors thesis in 2 to 3 semesters. Your honors thesis will be an independent project. You will not complete it alone. The thesis project work is carried out over a period of 2 to 3 semesters in collaboration with the faculty thesis director and members of the supervisory committee. In addition to the director, the committee must include at least one other faculty member from within your major department or area, and a third faculty member from outside of the major department or area. An optional fourth faculty member from any department or area may also serve. In units where there are no tenured or tenure-track faculty, the committee may be comprised entirely of specialized faculty, so long as the committee chair meets the standards previously mentioned, and, whenever possible, at least one of the other 2 required members is in a tenure-track or tenured position. Consistent with policy in the graduate handbook, each committee member's CV should show evidence of research-based scholarship and/or creative work resulting in peer-reviewed publications or equivalent work. The typical honors in the major thesis timeline can be broken down into 3 semesters: the application semester, the prospectus semester, and the defense semester. The application semester is the semester before you plan to begin thesis work. During this semester, you will discuss your project ideas with faculty mentors and/or your major's honors liaison, if you haven't already. You will need to locate a faculty thesis director from among your faculty mentors or from searching through the faculty bios on your major's faculty page. Email them with a brief introduction about yourself and your research interests and ask if they would be willing to meet with you to explore the possibility of working together, or visit them during their office hours. You also will want to read the Honors in the Major Handbook by this semester if you have not already. The Honors in the Major Handbook is a significant resource to help you stay on the right path throughout the thesis experience, so be sure to download and save a copy for reference. Once you have your thesis idea boiled down to a working title and a thesis director who's ready to work with you, you will submit the Honors in the Major application by the deadline stated on the Honors in the Major webpage. Give yourself plenty of time to secure the signatures of your director, your major's honors liaison, and your department chair or area coordinator. Coming after the application semester is the prospectus semester, which is the first semester of the Honors in the Major thesis. Because you are required to be registered for at least 6 honors thesis credits total over the course of at least 2 semesters, you will use the Honors in the Major application approval email sent out by the Honors Program to connect with your department or area in order to register for those honors thesis credits. For a typical 2-semester thesis, students will register for 3 credits each semester. If you know from the outset you will take 3 semesters to complete the thesis, feel free to register for just 2 credits per semester. From the beginning of the prospectus semester, schedule recurring face-to-face meetings with your thesis director. Plan your work on your prospectus, which will be submitted later in the semester to the Honors Program, along with the signed prospectus approval form. Signing this form will be your thesis director and your supervisory committee. So get a head start in consultation with your thesis director on recruiting 2 to 3 committee members. Also, be sure to review the IRB review resources in the Honors in the Major Handbook early on with your thesis director to determine if your project must undergo an IRB review. And set draft submission goals for yourself so that your thesis director and committee have seen your prospectus and have been able to provide feedback before you ask them to sign off on it for the prospectus approval form. Following the prospectus semester is the defense semester. In this semester, you will schedule your oral defense by submitting a signed and completed defense announcement form by the deadline posted. You will continue check-in meetings with your thesis director while continuing work on your project, and you will aim to provide drafts of the full project to your director and committee well in advance of the oral defense. Once you complete the oral defense, you will submit the signed and completed defense certificate form by the deadline, and you will submit your final thesis project to the DigiNoll archive. Much more information about each of these steps can be found in the Honors in the Major Handbook. Prospectus and thesis, the actual project. Honors in the Major thesis projects can be broken down into 3 general types: analytical, creative, and applied or experiential. More information about each type can be found in the Honors in the Major Handbook, including rubrics that you have the option of using to talk with your thesis director about your progress and growth. Your major and the types of projects permissible in the field will determine what type of project you will complete. But for the sake of the Honors in the Major thesis, knowing what type of project you are completing can help you have a stronger understanding of what is expected of your final thesis. The prospectus is your project proposal, in which you lay out your introduction, preliminary literature review, research problem and research question, and your proposed methods and/or materials used to address your research question. You can also include a timeline for project completion and a hypothesis if you wish. Most majors at FSU will have a prospectus of 10 pages of text minimum, excluding references. Please note that some departments or programs have a different minimum prospectus page length requirement, or more specific standards that the prospectus must meet. Be sure to consult with your honors liaison if you or your thesis director are unsure of these requirements. Of the 3 types of thesis projects referred to earlier, analytical and applied experiential thesis projects will have similar final projects. Both will resemble original, in-depth, independent research papers. Disciplines and fields have different conventions regarding page length, format, and style, so talk with your thesis director about what is expected of you. To look at specific examples from your major, visit FSU's DigiNoll archive on the FSU library page. Creative thesis projects, on the other hand, result in creative work that comes as the result of artistic inquiry. Whether you create a short film or performance, write a short novel or screenplay or a collection of poems or short stories, compose music, create an art installation, paint a series of paintings, perform a musical recital, or any other creative endeavor, you must still submit a separate written portion. Students completing creative thesis projects will submit a minimum 10-page critical reflection and project statement at the end of their Honors in the Major experience. This is what the student will submit to the DigiNoll archive, along with documentation from their thesis project. More information about this written report requirement can be found in the Honors in the Major Handbook. As stated previously, some departments will have additional requirements for Honors in the Major prospectuses or final thesis projects. For example, some departments require a minimum 20-page prospectus. Other departments may have a higher GPA requirement to be accepted into the Honors in the Major program, may require additional courses or prerequisites, and so on. Check with your major's academic advisor, or your honors liaison to know what is expected of you. So where do you start now that you know the basics? The first phase is the brainstorming phase. During your second year and into your third year at FSU, take electives in your major that fascinate you. Talk with faculty in their office hours about content and ideas that you enjoy thinking about, and learn as much about faculty in your department as possible. Attend departmental and university-wide research events to network with people who have similar interests as you. Read recent scholarship in your field's top academic journals, and if you aren't sure how to find such journals, talk with a librarian and they will be glad to help you. Finally, meet with your major's honors liaison to explore your possibilities. Once you begin the application semester, which is the semester before you plan to begin the honors in the major thesis, you should create a plan. Browse former thesis projects in the digital archive if you haven't. Look at a recent published article from your discipline or field to see how all the parts fit together, how the scholar frames their research question with the literature they cite, and so on. Reverse engineering an academic article this way can help you think about how you might design your own thesis project. Start meeting with faculty in earnest to explore the possibility of them serving as your thesis director. Talk with your academic advisor about the logistics of honors in the major, such as how the honors thesis credits will count, how to register for honors thesis credits, and so on. By the deadline to apply for the honors in the major program, have your thesis director identified and your thesis project's working title pinned down. Are you ready to apply? To recap, the minimum requirements to begin the honors in the major program include being a current FSU student who has been formally accepted into your major, having a minimum 3.2 GPA, FSU and cumulative, having at least 60 completed credits at the time of application, and having at least 12 of those credits completed at FSU, and finally having at least 2 semesters remaining until graduation. You don't have to be a member of the honors program to apply. And remember that your department or program may have higher requirements, so be sure to consult with your honors liaison or major's academic advisor to see if there's more you need to know. Fill out the application with your thesis director, secure the signatures of your honors liaison and department chair or area coordinator, and submit by the application deadline preceding your anticipated start semester. If you have any questions, please consult the Honors in the Major Handbook or the Honors in the Major webpage on the Honors Program's website. Both include more detailed information, including frequently asked questions. If after you've taken the time to review one of these resources in depth, you have additional questions, feel free to send an email with your specific questions to hitm@fsu.edu. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this presentation. And from the Honors Program at FSU, good luck with your Honors in the Major thesis experience.